माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरदारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनार्दन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनार्दन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जयो राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ श्री राधे जयो निताय पतिता पावन गौरारी जयो निताय पतिता पावन गौरारी जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं उदीरयेत्. I would like to read the translation of this invocation verse. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, and unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, is established as an irrevocable fact. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 4, Text 19. न वेदवादान् अनुवर्तते मतिः स्व एव लोके रमतो महामुने. यथा गतिर्देव मनुष्ययो पृथक् स्व एव धर्मेण परं क्षिपेत् स्थितः. Anybody would like to repeat? Prabhuji.
वेदवादान्
अनुवर्तते मति स्वैव लोके रमतो महामुनेः. यथा गतिर्देव मनुष्ययो पृथक् स्वैव धर्मेण परं क्षिपेत् स्थितः. वेदवादानुवर्तते मति स्वैव लोके रमतो महामुनिः. यथा गतिर्देव मनुष्ययो पृथक् स्वैव धर्मेण परं क्षिपेत् स्थितः. माताजी.
न वेदवादानुवर्तते मति
न वेदवादानुवर्तते मति स्वैव लोके रमतो महामुने. यथा गतिर्देव मनुष्ययो पृथक् स्वैव धर्मेण परं क्षिपेत् स्थितः. Word to word meaning. Na, not. Vedavadan, rules and regulations of the Vedas. Anuvartate, follow. Mati, the mind. Sway, in his own. Eva, certainly. Loke, in the self. Ramataha, enjoying. Mahamune, of elevated transcendentalists. Yata, as. Gati, the way. Deva Manushyayo, of the men and the demigods. Prithak, separately. Sve, in your own. Eva, alone. Dharme, occupational duty. Na, not. Param, another. Kshipet, should criticize. Sthitaha, being situated. Translation. It is better to execute one's own occupational duty than to criticize others. Elevated transcendentalists may sometimes forego the rules and regulations of the Vedas since they do not need to follow them, just as the demigods travel in space, whereas ordinary men travel on the surface of the earth. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purport. The behavior of the most elevated transcendentalist and that of the most fallen conditioned soul appears to be the same. The elevated transcendentalist can surpass all the regulations of the Vedas, just as the demigods traveling in space surpass all the jungles and rocks on the surface of the globe. Although a common man who has no such ability to travel in space has to face all those impediments. Although the most dear Lord Shiva appears not to observe all the rules and regulations of the Vedas, he is not affected by such disobedience. But a common man who wants to imitate Lord Shiva is mistaken. A common man must observe all the rules and regulations of the Vedas, which a person who is in the transcendental position does not need to observe. Daksha found fault with Lord Shiva for not observing all the strict rules and regulations of the Vedas. But Sati asserted that he had no need to observe such rules. It is said that for one who is powerful like the sun or the fire, there is no consideration of purity or impurity. The sunshine can sterilize an impure place, whereas if someone else were to pass such a place, he would be affected. One should not try to imitate Lord Shiva. Rather, one should strictly follow one's prescribed occupational duties. One should never vilify a great personality like Lord Shiva. I'm praying intensely to Guru and Vaishnavas and all the assembled devotees, especially Yoga Krishna Prabhu and all the devotees in the Zoom. Please show mercy upon me so that, bless me so that I can use appropriate words to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशालकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजाता सागणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्गं यते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् So we are in fourth canto, fourth chapter, verse number 19th. The canto name is The Creation of the Fourth Order, and chapter name is Sati Quits Her Body. So this canto is a creation of the fourth order. First primary creator is Supreme Lord. Secondary creator is Brahma. Brahma is the secondary creator. And Brahma's son, Swayambhuva Manu, he's a in the third canto, we heard about Kapila, Swayambhuva Manu and Lord Kapila and all. So there, that is the third order we can consider. And fourth order of creation is Swayambhuva Manu's daughter and sons. They are fourth order of creation. So daughter Devahuti, Akuti, Rasuti, and son Priyavrata and Uttanapada. We will hear the Uttanapada's pastimes in the Dhruva Maharaj's pastime in fourth canto. And fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it begins with the first order is the genealogical order of the daughters of the Swayambhuva Manu. So once again, translation. It is better to execute one's own occupational duty than to criticize others. Elevated transcendentalists may sometimes forego the rules and regulation of the Veda since they do not need to follow them, just as the demigods travel in space, whereas ordinary men travel on the surface of the earth. So ordinary men, to reach from source to destination, we have to walk. So we have to cross so many rocks, so many impediments. We have to sometimes cross the water or forest. But demigods, they can travel on the space. So we should not criticize demigod that, oh, they are traveling on the space, they are not able to walk. Our capacities, because we don't have capacities to travel on the space. Our capacity is to just walk. So one must better to execute their own duty rather than criticizing others. Here Sati, Mother Sati tells that she condemns the karmakanda procedures of the Veda, the sacrificial, fruitive activities. Daksha was inclined to perform the karmakanda activities, karmakanda procedures. Whereas Shiva is a transcendentalist. He does not need to perform all those sacrificial activities. Why it is there in the Veda means one has to gradually elevate it to the self-realization. But Shiva is already self-realization. He is already in the top position. He does not have to follow those rules and regulations. So elevated transcendentalists may sometimes forego the rules and regulations. Sati tells here. So she is condemning Daksha here. In the previous verses we saw why Daksha has to talk like that about Shiva, like Shiva resides in the cremation land and also one should not condemn Vaishnava because they should no need to follow the rules and regulations. It is only for the ordinary people. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna told, Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadyante avipashchita vedavada ratapartha. So the word Vedavada, it comes in today's slokas also. The Vedavada anuvartate matihi, Sati mentioned. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna mentioned Vedavada Ratapartha. So the men of small intelligence are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to the heavenly planets. It helps resulting in good birth, power, beauty, so forth. So being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, these karmakandis, they will think that there is nothing better than this. So once they start following the karmakanda rituals, they get attached to the opulent, whatever they are receiving from the result of the karmakanda procedure. So once they are very much attached to those sense gratification activities, it is very difficult to process towards self-realization. So very next verse, Krishna told, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam tvaya aparita chetasa vyavasayatmika buddhi samadau na vidiyate. So in the minds of those who are too much attached to the sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. That's why Krishna told Arjuna, you become Nistraigunya. So The Vedas deals mainly with the subject of three modes of material nature. Arjuna, you become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all duality, free from anxieties, gain and safety, and be established in the self. So the main purpose of the Veda is to for help oneself to gradually elevate to the platform of self-realization. So Krishna told Traigunya Vishaveda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. So nirdvandvo nitya sattvasto niryoga kshema atmavan. So one should establish in the self. And also he told in the 15th verse of 15th chapter, Vedeshcha sarver ahameva vedya. So one should know the purpose of the Veda. All the rituals and sacrifices, it is just for the beginners who just to make awareness of God, like God consciousness. So one should gradually develop to the self-realization. So the purpose of studying Veda is to know Lord Krishna. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Vedeshcha sarver ahameva vedya. Vedanta kradveda videva chaham. I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Veda, Krishna told. And in Bhagavatam also we hear that. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Suraya. So the Supreme Lord only first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji. But there are different sections in Vedas. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. One should know the purpose of the Veda. Towards last chapter of 15th chapter, last slokas, 19th and 20, Krishna told that whoever knows me as the supreme personality of Godhead without doubting, he is knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service. So yomam evama sammuda janati purushottama sasarva vid bhajatima sarva bhavena bharata. In the purport of this, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, if a person is engaged in full Krishna consciousness in the devotional service of the Lord, it is to be understood that he has understood all the Vedic knowledge. So we no need to go through separately study the Vedas, because one who already know Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead and one who performs the devotional service to the Lord, he knows everything. And this is the confidential knowledge. In the last sloka of Purushottama Yoga, 20th sloka, Krishna told, Iti guhyatamam shastram idam uktam mayanaga. Yetat buddhva buddhimansyat krita krityascha bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scripture. What is that? Krishna is a supreme. Krishna is a Purushottama. Whoever knows Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead and who engages in Krishna's devotional service. That is the most confidential part of the Vedic scripture. And it is now disclosed by me. Whoever understands this will become wise. So, yetat buddhya buddhiman syat krita kritascha bharata. So, whoever understands this, his endeavors will be perfect. So, whoever performed devotional service, one should understand that he understood all the Vedic knowledge and he is in the perfect position. He is intelligent. And in another place also Krishna told that like devotees are intelligent because they are worshipping the Supreme God. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarva pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. So buddha bhava means who is intelligent. I am the source of all spiritual and material world. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me in all their heart. So, revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam as well. In many slokas are there. One of the example, Mother Sati, when after she hears all the instructions from Lord Kapila, she in the last chapter of third canto, she told that how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your lordship They must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. So after performing all the Vedic rituals, means one will get the, we can understand that one will come to the platform of jnana, knowledge, that Krishna is the supreme God and our duty is to serve the supreme Lord. That is our real position that one has to understand. And even so one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of the Vedas without being attached to the karma kanda rituals mentioned in the Veda. So the best purpose of the Vedic culture is served by chanting the holy name of the Lord as recommended by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Once Prakashananda Saraswati asked Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu why he was chanting the holy name of the Lord like a sentimentalist, like a madman. He was chanting and dancing. Why you are not, like, instead of studying Vedanta philosophy, why you are chanting the holy name of the Lord? The means he has to give importance for the study of Vedanta. That was his intention. Lord replied that his spiritual master had found him to be a great fool and thus asked him to chant the holy name of the Lord Krishna. He did so and became ecstatic like a madman. Means he followed his instruction of Guru. So he is in ecstasy. So here Mahaprabhu wanted to show that the highest purpose of Veda is served by chanting the holy name of the Lord instead of studying the Vedanta philosophy. So for devotees, we no need to study the entire those philosophy of Vedanta. As per the instruction of Guru, we have to continue our chanting of the holy name. That is the like ultimate purpose of the Veda. In this shloka, in this today's verse, Sati mentioned that it's better to execute one's own occupational duty than to criticize others. Related to this, we have verses in Bhagavad Gita. There is a in 35, third chapter, 35th shloka, Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna Paradharma Swanushtitat. This shloka repeated in 18th chapter, 47 verse. If something is repeated means that is the most important, like Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto, it is repeated twice. So that is the most important. Similarly, Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna Paradharmat Swanushtitat. Swadharme Nidanam Shreya Paradharmo Bhayavaha. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another's duties perfectly. Distraction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties. For to follow another's path is dangerous. Here, example is given. Sati gave the example that common man, they'll travel on the earth, but demigods, they fly on the sky. But common man shouldn't criticize the demigods. So we should discharge our prescribed duty, what is suitable for us. We should not criticize others, whatever they are doing. So our prescribed duty, what is acharyas is prescribed for our spiritual progress, that we have to concentrate on that, and we have to sincerely follow that. We shouldn't follow others, like other, there are so many different spiritual paths. Some people maybe someone maybe follow different path. So we should strictly follow whatever Guru is prescribed to us, our prescribed duty. So one should therefore discharge his prescribed duties in full Krishna consciousness rather than the prescribed duties of others. So prescribed duty for material as well as spiritual. So taking care of our family, that is also our prescribed duty. And for the spiritual, that is also our prescribed duty. So we are all following Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. We cannot tell that we are already in the highest level, we cannot follow the rules and regulations. Only the transcendentalist, they, for them, even though they forego the rules and regulations, it is okay. But we are not in that stage. So we should follow our prescribed duty of the sadhana bhakti, whatever we are following. Ultimate aim is to always think of Krishna. That is in the raga platform, raganuga stage. But we are not there. So our duty is to follow our prescribed duty. That is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. We are training our mind to fix upon Krishna. So whatever spiritual duties ordered by our spiritual master, in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, and we are following it with the help of association of devotees. For sadhana bhakti, we have to follow rules and regulations. Acharyas gives us the rules and regulation. He will set us example like how to follow. For Acharya, they don't need to follow, but still to set example for us, they will follow, so that we have to follow. Ordinary people will follow them. So Krishna mentioned that our aim is to fix our mind on him. That is always thinking of him. So for achieving that, we are practicing sadhana bhakti, because Brajvasis are there always in the mood of, they are always thinking of Krishna. We are not in that stage. So Krishna gave different options. Mai eva mana adastva mai buddhi niveshaya. So your buddhi and mind you should fix on me. If it is not possible, practice abhyasa yoga. Krishna himself told, ata chitta samadhatam na shaknosi mai stira. So if you are na shaknosi, if you are not able to fix your chitta, your mind on me, abhyasa yogena tu kaunteya mam ichaptu dhananjaya. So you have to practice the bhakti yoga, regulative principles of bhakti yoga. Krishna himself told that. So we cannot tell that we rules and regulation is, means we no need to follow the rules and regulations. Everyone has to cleanse his heart by the gradual process, not abruptly. So Prabhupada mentioned this in the 35th 3.35 Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, 35th purport. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that. So everyone has to do his prescribed duty. It is a gradual process, not the means cleaning of the heart is a gradual process. It is not abruptly it will happen. When one transcends the modes of material nature and is fully situated in Krishna consciousness, he can perform anything and everything under the direction of bona fide spiritual master. In that complete stage of Krishna consciousness, the Kshatriya may act as Brahmana, or a Brahmana may act as Kshatriya. In the transcendental stage, the distinction of the material world do not apply. For example, Vishwamitra was originally a Kshatriya, but later on he acted as a Brahmana, whereas Parashurama was Brahmana, but later on he acted as Kshatriya. Being transcendentally situated, they could do so. But as long as one is on the material platform, he must perform his prescribed duties. Here, Mother Sati mentioned that Shiva is a transcendentalist. He does not have to follow the rules and regulation. Srila Prabhupada mentioned here in the purport of the 3.35, as long as one is on the material platform, he must perform his prescribed duty. So, talking to myself, I am still in the material platform. So, here I have to strictly follow the rules and regulation of Bhakti Yoga. And Krishna also told that whoever transcended the three modes, they no need to follow all those. Like in 3rd chapter, 17th and 18th verse of Bhagavad Gita. For one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, for him there is no duty. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duty, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. So even the Lord Shiva does not follow the whatever karma kanda procedure Daksha expecting him to follow, or whatever the rules and regulations. Like Shiva resides in the sometimes he goes to the cremation land, and sometimes means he is not like ordinary, or he is not following the rules and regulation. So Shiva Daksha was condemning him. Here Sati is condemning Daksha because Shiva might not follow all those, because he is already in the highest position. Shiva is a transcendentalist. One should not find fault in the transcendentalist. In the like Friday, we in the Bhagavatam class we heard that this Sham Kishore Prabhu explained the Vaishnava fault. Finding fault, it is like we should not find the fault of Vaishnavas. So that verse mentioned, we should means it is mentioned that Sati was about to quit her body because she heard that Vaishnava aparadha there. So we should not judge or criticize the behavior of Vaishnava. due to the envious nature, one will start criticizing the Vaishnava. So Daksha was envious towards Lord Shiva and he was pride. So that was the main reason. Pride and envy will make one to criticize or find the fault or judge the Vaishnava. Whatever the level someone, they should not criticize or they should not find the fault, then it will become the second nature. It will become the habit, the practice. Whenever like wherever Lord Shiva goes, that place is purified. Mother Sati tells that wherever Lord Shiva goes, that place purifies, even if it is cremation ground. So Daksha, but Daksha could not see it because it is in the material. He was like in the one who is in the material consciousness. They cannot understand the position of Vaishnava. Vaishnavera Kriyamudra Vijnena Bhujiya. We heard this in many purport, but Srila Prabhupada mentioned. And in one of the verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 23, 39 verse also, Sanatana Shiksha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructing Sanatana Goswami. There he mentioned, Yandra Chitte Krishna Prema Karaye Udaya Tandra Vakya Kriya Mudra Vijneha na Bhujaya. Even the most learned man cannot understand the words, activities, and symptoms of a person situated in love of Godhead. So, even though one may be very learned or experienced, he cannot understand the like Vaishnava. There may be chances of finding fault. So, one should be very careful. A Vaishnava knows his own business. Whatever he does is precisely right because he is always guided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whoever worshipping Krishna, so Krishna told that Matchitta, Madgata Prana, Bodhayanta Paraspara. So they are all Katayantascha Mam Nitya Tushyanticha Ramanticha. So the devotees of the Lord always take pleasure in glorifying Lord. And for them, Krishna from within heart, he gives the guidance. So whatever Vaishnava, great Vaishnava behaves, one should not criticize because Krishna himself is guiding for that behavior. So they even Ambarisha Maharaj also. So Durvasa Muni, he cursed Ambarisha Maharaj because he also did not understand the Vaishnava qualities of Ambarisha Maharaj. In that purport also Srila Prabhupada mentioned. So one cannot, however learned he is, it is difficult to understand the Vaishnava's quality. One should not commit offense towards the Vaishnavas. And another pastime I remembered, I heard it in earlier days whenever I joined. So the Odana Shashti, during the Odana Shashti, the day when Lord Jagannatha is offered fresh cloth, fresh starch cloth. So 500 years ago, Pundarika Vidyanidhi, he was like in his mind, or he was telling to, means he was chastising the pujaris of Lord Jagannatha. He was saying that why on this day you are offering the new cloth, which is with the starch, as per the Pancharatra Vidhi, the rules and regulation of the Karma Kanda, or maybe the Pancharatra Vidhi. One should not offer the starch cloth to the god. One should wash it and offer. That was his understanding, Pundarika Vidyanidhi. It is the system of Pancharatrika that Pundarika Vidyanidhi was expecting them to follow. And in this system, any cloth that we give to the deity should be washed and then given. But then Jagannatha, on this day of Odin Shashti, was wearing a new starch cloth that day on which he starts wearing winter clothing that day. So Pundarika Vidyanidhi said, you should not dress Jagannatha in the starch cloth. It is not the system. What are you doing? So you call yourself as Pujari, but you should not offer these. Like that he commented. It is like a chastised. That night, Jagannath appeared in his dream and Jagannath and Baladev, both they appeared in the dream of Pundarika Vidyanidhi, and they said, you don't have any rights to chastise our pujaris. They are doing their system. And Jagannath and Baladev punched and slapped Pundarika Vidyanidhi. So next day his cheeks were swollen. That's what. So he couldn't reveal. So it is the main, whatever we can learn from this is one should not judge the activities of the devotees. We should not question. So, but that also shows how Pundarika Vidyanidhi is very dear to Lord Chaitanya, because Lord himself come and to set an example, like he slapped by the Lord. Only for dear devotee will get this mercy. And Pundarika Vidyanidhi is very dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the absence of Pundarika Vidyanidhi, sometimes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to cry. It was mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And even Pundarika Vidyanidhi, even though he is most exalted devotee, so it was all the arrangement of lords to show that one should not criticize the devotees. And another instance, Gadadhara Pandit, when he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is there any Mahabhagavata in Navadvipa? I want to meet him. Mahaprabhu told Mukunda, you should take Gadadhara Pandit to जय श्री राधा गोपी जना वल्लभ भगवान की जय, निताय पतित पावन गौरी की जय, शीला प्रभुपाद की जय. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Mukunda to take Gadadhara Pandit to Pundarika Vidyanidhi, because he is a Mahabhagavata devotee. Mukunda took him there. But Gadadhar Pandit, he saw that Pundarika Vidyanidhi was like he was leading luxurious life, like a king he was. And in his mind, Gadadhar Pandit lost faith. Like he mentioned, then he returned. Mahaprabhu asked him, have you seen that Mahabhagavata devotee? Gadadhar Pandit replied, I could not see him as Mahabhagavata. Mahaprabhu then told Mukunda, you should read a verse from Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, to Pundarika Vidyanidhi. Thus Mahaprabhu again sent Gadadhar Pandit and Mukunda to Pundarika Vidyanidhi. At that time, Pundarika Vidyanidhi was lying on his bed. His hair was like oiled and he was wearing expensive clothing and perfume. Mukunda started reciting the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, second chapter, 23rd verse. Aho Bakiya Tanakala Kutam. So how astonishing when Putana, wicked sister of Bakasura, tried to kill child Krishna by offering him deadly poison on her breast. He bestowed upon her the position of his nursemaid, like a mother. So Lord Krishna is so merciful. Even Putana is offered poison milk, but Lord Krishna is so merciful, he offered mother's place to her. So this one Uddhava was explaining to Vidura in the third canto. So when Mukunda recited this verse, hearing this sloka, Pundarika Vidyanidhi fell down from the bed. He began to roll around and became senseless. Means he lost his, means he went to the ecstasy. He absorbed in Krishna. His hair became scattered and his decoration fell off. Gadadhar Pandit thought, so Pundarika Vidyanidhi is really Mahabhagavata devotee. So Mahaprabhu sent me to a Mahabhagavata devotee. He fell flat at the lotus feet of Pundarika Vidyanidhi and then he returned to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu asked, have you met a high-class Mahabhagavata? Gadadhar Pandit replied, when I first met him, I had doubt seeing his luxurious paraphernalia. But now my doubt has gone. I have committed some offense at the lotus feet of Mahabhagavata. So that's what Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra means. We cannot understand the Vaishnava's behavior. One should not judge, one should not criticize. Then Mahaprabhu, means he asked, how can I atonement? Then Mahaprabhu told him to take mantra diksha from Pundarika Vidyanidhi. So Pundarika Vidyanidhi is a guru of Gadadhara Pandit. In Krishna Lila, Pundarika Vidyanidhi is a father of Srimati Radharani, Vrishabhanu. So one should be very careful in dealing with devotees. whenever we deal with devotee, so sometimes we may get competition mindset. So why always that devotee will get all the opportunities? Why not me? So many like that. We always in the however in the material platform we try to think same way whenever we perform devotional service as well. And sometimes we think, oh, this devotee is very good to me, so he is my friend. This devotee is not as per my, he's against to my requirement or my whatever mindset, he's against to that, so we'll consider him as enemy. So if we consider someone, treat someone as enemy and someone as friend, we are in the maya. That is in Bhagavatam also. Prahlada Maharaja mentioned in one of the sloka, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 11th sloka. Prahlada Maharaja mentioned, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose external energy has created the distinction of my friend and my enemy by deluding the intelligence of men. Indeed, I am now actually experiencing this, although I have previously heard it from authoritative sources. So when Shanda and Amarka, so they are telling, they're asking they're asking Prahlada Maharaj, who taught you all those things? His enemies taught you about this devotional service and all? He was questioning. Then Prahlada Maharaj told, whoever considers one as enemy, one as a friend, he is definitely in the illusion. That is external energy of the Maya. So even though when we performing here, when we are associating with the devotee, if we differentiate, he is my friend, he is my enemy, like that, that means we are in the, definitely we are in the Maya. And we should, it is very difficult sometimes because everyone has some level of ego, some level of pride. So whoever help to satisfy our ego, we consider them as friend. That is the general mindset. But that's what we should, our ultimate goal is to become humble. The seniority is decided based on the how, to what extent we are humble. That is the seniority. It is not based on the year of practice. So how we are humble in, so that is the like how much we are progressed in Krishna consciousness. And to practice this in our daily life, whatever the Vaishnava etiquettes or humility, or to become free from the ego or envious, we should understand that Krishna doesn't like all these bad qualities. Because Krishna told that Adveshta sarva bhutana maitrya karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankara samadukka sukakshami. So one who is not envious, Krishna likes him very much. So adveshta sarva bhutanam, we should not be envious to anyone. Then only we will become dear to Krishna. We should be maitrya karuna evacha. We should be maitrya karuna, is dealing nicely with everyone. And nirmamo nirahankara. If you have nirmama, me, myself, that consciousness we have to leave, and nirahankara. So free from false ego, free from false prestige. One who think himself as a proprietor, himself as a controller, Krishna doesn't like him. So nirmamo nirahankara, if we have this quality, Krishna likes us. Samadukka sukakshami, which is still higher. Even sukha and dukkha, we should be equal. So that then we will become dear to Krishna. Then santushta satatam yogi yatatma drida nischaya. So whoever has drida nischaya in performing devotional service, Krishna likes him. He is very dear to Krishna. And Mai Arpita Mano Buddhi, whose mana and buddhi is arpita to Krishna, they are very dear to Krishna. So engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. If we want to please Krishna, our mind and intelligence should be fixed on Krishna, and with determination, with sincerity, we have to follow the regulated principle of Bhakti Yoga. Then only our mind and intelligence can be fixed on the Krishna. Still, this is theory for me, because mind and intelligence fixing on Krishna is very high level. But practicing the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, so Angas of Bhakti, it will help us to practice. It will help us to fix our mind and mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. So pure devotees are equal to everyone. They are Sama, Shatrucha, Mitrecha. So Krishna told the qualities of pure devotees. He is not envious to anyone. He doesn't have any enemy. Even though someone treats him as enemy, he will be equal. He will be treating him as a friend only. So Sama, Shatrucha, Mitrecha, Tata, Mana, Apamanayo. Even someone insult you or respect you, pure devotee will be like Sama. He'll be equal. Shita, Oshna, Sukha, Dukkha. Whatever the condition, he is the same. Tulya, Ninda, Stuti, Mauni. So he will be Tulya. The weighing scale will be that will weight, right? That will be equal. It will balance always like that. If someone Stuti, someone praises him, or someone Ninda, he blames him. But pure devotees will be Tulya, will be always balanced. And Santushta is always satisfied. He never hanker after material desires. Aniketa, Stiramati, Bhaktiman me Priyo Naraha. The translation of this verse is one who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equiposed in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence. Aniketa. So Lord Shiva, the Aniketa word, it suits for the highest, topmost transcendentalist Lord Shiva, who doesn't even mind to, sometimes he goes to cremation ground also. So Aniketa means who doesn't care of any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to Krishna. That's what. So Lord Shiva is in very high transcendentalist topmost position. For him, no need to follow all the rules and regulations. But for us, we are in the three modes of material nature. We have to follow strictly the rules and regulations of Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. Here Sati condemns Daksha that Lord Shiva is highly transcendental position. For him, no, it's not required to follow all these rules and regulations. So one should mind on their own prescribed duty. He should not criticize anyone. Criticizing others is a Vaishnava aparadha. It is a offense. That's what I wanted to tell. Please forgive me if I do any mistakes. Please correct me if I fail to explain something. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If there is any comments or anything you can ask. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We are ending the session. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for this class.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Wonderful class. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.